who's the fastest of all time. And the fastest of all time is Maurice Greene. There is that argument. But what you're saying is that in order to be the greatest of all time, you have to stick around for longer than a few years that Maurice Greene has so far.
Well, I think that he has to stick around for a few more years, but I think also you have to take into account the fact that Lewis broke the world record as well. So up until this stage, Greene has not done anything that Lewis has done before, and in fact he hasn't done as much. So that's why I still believe that he has to win this and even go on to win another Olympic title as well, to even get close to ranking with Carl Lewis as being the greatest 100-metre runner we've ever had.
All right, Jane, well, the runners are being introduced. They're getting ready to get on their blocks. Let's go to David Bashir.
Who will be the world champion? Will there be a world record? So many questions to be asked. The men's 100-metre final. Atto Boldon's been there, so often disappointed. Silver medalist in Sydney, behind Maurice Greene. On his outside, Bernard Williams, one of the funny men of the 100 metres, 4x100 relay gold medalist in Sydney.
I thought he ran very well in his semi-final. In fact, I thought he ran to better form than almost anybody else in the whole field. Very cool there, cool as a cucumber.
Kim Collins from St Kitts and Nevis, a Caribbean island of 42,000 people. What a thrill for him. He was an Olympic finalist.
And 10 flat. He'd love to sneak under that 10 flat magical mark.
On the extreme outside.
Dwayne Chambers always looks unbelievably aggressive at the start of a race. He's so incredibly focused, almost angry.
Well, he was fourth in Sydney, and I think he felt he should have got a medal. So perhaps out wide, when you think of Greene in 4, Boldon in 5. Chambers will be out in lane 8. He'll run his own race. Maurice Greene has the quickest man this year on his inside and his training partner on his outside.
So we've got 3 US, 2 from Great Britain, 1 from Trinidad Tobago, 1 from St Kitts, and 1 from Ghana.
If the wind can stay down here, Maurice Greene can break his world record. It's 9:79. If he can break that time, he becomes the fastest man ever. Tim Montgomery goes into the race as the fastest man this year, though, with his 9:84.
From the inside, we have Sakari of Ghana, Malcolm of Great Britain, Montgomery, then Greene in lane 4, Boldon 5, Williams 6, Collins 7, Chambers 8. Away, good, no.
Whoa.
Thinking break out wide, maybe
Kim Collins. Yeah, it was well and truly a break. Yep. Gee, he got them off very quick that time, the start. I don't know whether someone may have spoken to him in between the... oh, hello, there's a bit of antics going on there.
And Bernard Williams, he actually does stand up in LA under the name of Hollywood Williams, and, well, you can show off as much as you like, but you let your feet do the talking, and we won't see Maurice Greene with any of those sort of antics. Maybe it's helping him relax. There's the reaction.
Interesting to see Boldon's reaction again was very, very quick after him disputing the fact that he was given a false start earlier.
We've talked about this, Joan, the new false start rule, and I'm with you. The drama just builds and builds and builds. You never get tired of just waiting for them to unleash from the blocks.
I tell you what, it really tests an athlete's mettle too when you have 3 or 4 false starts, holding your head together, and that's part of being a champion.
Another one for Collins, and he's out of the final.
What a psychological mind game out there at the moment. Bernard Williams flapping his arms around. Maurice Greene deeply focused. The world record holder in lane 4. Montgomery on his inside, Boldon on his outside. Then Williams in 6. All set for the men's 100-metre final. Away.
Oh, that was Boldon.
Boldon this time.
Certainly looked like Boldon.
So on the new rules, he'd be out.
He would.
I'd be interested to see his reaction time on this one.
Greene moving a little bit unsteady on his inside. See Greene going, but
Maurice Greene
probably after Boldon has gone.
Be interested to see who they award this break to.
Don't yet have a an indicator behind the blocks.
Of course, the blocks are all attached to a timing pad, which can indicate those reaction times, but also who has broken, and it is Bolden as expected.
So one break to Bolden, one to Kim Collins.
Tough position for Bolden to be in because he knows he's not in the best of shape, and now to go in with a false start against your name is not ideal.
The silver medalist from the Olympic Games has to refocus. It's all set up now for Maurice Greene and Tim Montgomery. Atto Bolden and Kim Collins breaking. Any more indiscretion and they're out of the final. Greene for 4, Bolden 5.
Set up.
What nerves are playing part? It was Tim Montgomery who moved early.
It was indeed. I don't know whether he'll be awarded a false start from that. Normally that can just be called as being unsteady. Athletes unsteady, and they will bring them back into the blocks and start it again, so there's a fair start.
We've talked often about the difference between thinking you can win and knowing you can win, and we've seen it here. Kim Collins knows that he's a chance for a medal. Atto knows that he's in the mix, as does Montgomery. He knows that he's a chance to win the race, and that is just nothing more than nerves, just wanting to get the race on its way. Once the gun goes, they know exactly what to do. But in the meantime, they just have to wait and wait and wait, because the only man that can get them on the way is the starter. And now we have 3 men who have 1 break against their name.
This is why I like the idea of having every athlete having 2 false starts. It does build to the drama, and it does test you more.
Greene stays focused. He's been in this position before. Montgomery's nervous, as is Bolden and Greene. It's a new position for him. He's been in the final before. We won the bronze medal in Athens quite unexpectedly, but he's a chance today. It's a different situation.
Well, you could cut the air with a knife. 3 breaks, 1 to Montgomery, Bolden, and first to Kim Collins. And in lane 4 is the world record holder Maurice Greene. Take 4 in the men's 100-metre final. This time they're away. Greene got a flyer. Montgomery also well away, and further out is Bolden, but Maurice Greene takes control. Maurice Greene running away. Montgomery lunges, but Greene gets there in 9.82. Outside the world record, he's hobbling, but the Olympic champion is now a 3 times world champion.
And it's an American 1-2-3 clean sweep.
Maurice Greene did his hamstring, I reckon, about 2 strides from the line, and fortunately for him, it was only 2 strides from the line. If it had been 3 or 4 strides from the line, Montgomery would have got him.
And it looks like it is in that leg, but he's had problems with the tendon behind his knee all season. We've seen him run a number of the Golden League races where he's limped off. This really mixes it up for the 200 metres now.
Well, that knee has hung on by a thread until the final moment. It could not have happened any later than that for Maurice Greene. It's into a slight headwind of 0.2.
A US 1-2-3. Maurice Greene first, Montgomery second, Bernard Williams third. Amazing.
9.85 for Montgomery, 9.94 for Williams. Bolden fourth. What a great run from him, 9.98. But what a run and what a performance and what courage from Maurice Greene.
His hamstring or his knee again? He seems to now be recovering a slight bit. Let's wait and see whether even he can jog a victory lap here.
He certainly just eased off as they came towards the line. It's not something you do in a final. It's not something you do unless you've got a problem.
Surprisingly, Bolden's not out there with him, which we've seen in the past.
2 training partners there, Williams and Greene.
Let's have it. Boy, Greene got a beautiful start.
They all got a pretty good start, didn't they? Bolden got the best start we've seen. Montgomery was slowly away on the outside. Chambers
was very ragged.
Williams comes from a mile back. He was in 4th place behind Montgomery and Bolden. Let's have a look here. It's about here that Maurice starts to ease up. He starts to hobble, and there it goes. 1 stride before the line. He just feels the pain, and Montgomery sneaks up on the inside. But it wasn't quite enough for Tim Montgomery. Bolden ran a very good race. It's been the last half that he's struggled. Montgomery flew through.
Bernard Williams has run a personal best to pick up that bronze medal as well.
Let's have a look from front on. Have a look at the face of Greene. He's struggling a bit here. Perhaps as the first one, he just starts to gallop a bit, and then the brakes go on. The last stride, it couldn't be any closer.
And then trying to slow down is half the problem. That's a lot of the time when the damage can be even further increased.
And Greene does join Carl Lewis as the only man to have won 3 world titles.
So if we run through the placings, I think it's Greene, Montgomery, Williams from Bolden, Chambers, Collins, Malcolm and Zakari. But there's the world champion for the 3rd time, Maurice Greene at 9.82, the fastest time in the world this year.
Only 3 100ths outside his world record. He just needed a slight tailwind, didn't he? And perhaps not the twinge to the leg, and he would have been there. But 9.82. When you look at the times that Maurice Greene has run in the major championship finals, he ran 9.80 in Seville, he's run 9.82 here. He ran very fast in Sydney in pretty difficult conditions. He ran 9.87 to win the title. His world championship victory in Athens.
Bolden is now waiting. Sorry, David.
In 9.86, so every time he's won a final, Maurice Greene, he's done it in sub 9.90.
So he never really was led from the gun. You can really get a very good perspective of the whole field here. And he then starts to pull away from them. I think Montgomery may actually give him a bit of curry when he learns to run a little more relaxed under these situations. As David mentioned, he'd never come into a race thinking he probably could win before. And it does add extra pressure. There we see Greene start. And that strapped knee, which is in the same leg, he's just torn his hamstring. Head down, characteristically so. And now he's up and running. Very, very balanced athlete. It's always a good sign when an athlete in any event remains very balanced. And
there
watch
it is.
His face.
It's 1-2, and he's gone another couple of strides, and again he limps. He's gone from probably 10 metres out that he could first feel it, and then he's just tried to relax, and he's gone again. That's a remarkable performance that he's hung in there with Montgomery steaming down. He's still run 9.82 into a headwind.
He may have got your world record as predicted.
Well, there's no disgrace in.
In fact, it almost doesn't matter what time you run in a meet like this. It's all about winning, and that's what he's done.
What drama. 3 false starts, fantastic second round. They always have a lot in the 100 metres, don't they? But this has had just about everything we've seen.
Well, where does he rank now?
Well, I'm with Jane. If he breaks the world record in a major championship, then I think he goes up another level. But he still has to win another Olympic title to be the best ever. But 3 world championships in succession for Maurice Greene, and he can come back in Paris in 2003 and win number 4, and then try and win the Olympic title in Athens.
Final results: Maurice Greene, the winner, the world champion in 9.82. Tim Montgomery, the silver medalist, 9.85. Bernard Williams, 9.94, a personal best this year, and the bronze medal. And just out of the placings, Atto Bolden in 9.98. Dwayne Chambers, 9.99. Quite a remarkable piece of drama. Forget about the sport. The drama was incredible.
Let's leave Maurice Greene as we see another replay of his magnificent win. Hammer throw action is continuing. And we're in round number 2.